The Vorex Dominion exploration ship Tauren drifted quietly through the dark side of Sector 19. Its crew expected nothing unusual, just old star dust, dead comets, and maybe a forgotten mining drone. But today felt different. The stars looked strange, almost like they were holding their breath. Commander Zerath Volek stood in the center of his bridge. His 4 black eyes scanned the holographic map floating above him. Something was wrong. A signal pulsed again, soft, weak, but steady. Origin? Zerath asked. Unknown, replied his science officer, Saran. But, Commander, it matches an ancient Terran frequency. Every crew member froze. Terran, humans, a species that, according to every history record, had died 300 years ago. Their home world, Earth, was a cold rock now. Their colonies? Silent. Their starships? Gone. Humanity was a story for textbooks. A species remembered only for their final war and their impossible courage. How can a dead species send a signal? One of the junior officers whispered. Saran zoomed in. Commander, the signal is repeating a pattern. This is old military code, pre-collapse era. Silence filled the bridge, deep, heavy, and uncertain. Show it, Zerath ordered. The signal appeared on the main screen, an old waveform flickering like a heartbeat. It played again slow, then fast, then steady. It sounded like a call for identity, Saran said softly, like a Warship challenge code. That is impossible, Zerath muttered. Human warships were destroyed long ago. Before anyone could answer, the ship's lights flickered. The radar flared red. A shadow appeared behind the Tauren, a massive shape, silent, cold, waiting. Contact, shouted the navigator. The crew turned toward the rear screens. Something huge floated there, bigger than anything they had ever seen. Old metal, black armor, thick plating that looked hand-forged instead of printed. Engines shaped like ancient Terran drives. A ship, a human ship. But this cannot exist, Saran whispered. The bridge air felt colder now, like space itself was watching. The ship powered nothing. No lights, no visible engines. Yet it moved with intention, one slow, unstoppable glide forward. Commander, Saran said, I think it is scanning us. Zerath felt his throat tighten. The Vorex Dominion had conquered 5 star systems. They feared no species, no enemy. But this ancient ghost felt different. It felt alive. The screen suddenly flashed. A voice filled the bridge. Calm, smooth, human. This is Terran Warship Vanguard. Identify yourselves. Every alien on the bridge jumped back. It was not a recorded message, not an echo from the past. It was speaking to them. Zerath forced himself to breathe. Respond, he said. We must answer. The comm officer opened a channel. Hands shaking. This is Commander Zerath Volek of the Vorex Dominion exploration ship Tauren. Humans are extinct. How are you operational? There was a pause. A long, chilling pause. The voice returned. Humanity is not extinct. Humanity endures. The crew stared at each other, confused and terrified. Zerath tried again. If humans survive, where are they? Why did they disappear from a galaxy? Classified, the voice replied. We are following final directive. Final directive? Saran asked. The human voice answered slowly. Protect humanity at any cost. That sentence chilled the entire bridge. Commander, Saran whispered. This ship, it is still carrying out orders from 3 centuries ago. Before Zerath could reply, the Warship Vanguard powered one single blue eye-like sensor. The glow spread over its hull, revealing old human markings, scratched, burned, but unmistakable. Then Saran gasped. Commander, I am reading its armor density. It is stronger than our entire fleet combined. Another officer added, Energy core is ancient, but more powerful than anything the Dominion has. Zerath could only stare at the giant relic. This ship was a monster from history, a relic that should have been dust, yet it hovered like a guardian from ancient time. What do you want? Zerath asked finally. The voice on the warship softened. We detected your scan of Earth. Why? The aliens looked at their commander. Zerath replied honestly. We were studying it. It is a dead world. For the first time, the voice carried emotion. Earth is not dead. Earth is sleeping. The bridge shook faintly, as if something outside had changed. The radar lit up again. Saran's eyes widened. Commander, multiple signals behind the vanguard. Zerath turned. More shadows, large, silent, drifting awake. Oh no, Saran whispered. There are more ships. Many more ships. On the screen, beneath the name Vanguard, a new message appeared. Auto fleet system activated. The voice spoke again. You found one ship. We found you. Do not approach Earth again. Final warning. The Tauran crew stood frozen. The dead species was not dead. The lost warship was not alone. And the galaxy had just awakened something ancient. Zerath felt the truth settle in his bones. This was not just first contact. This was a return. The alien ship Tauran drifted in silence after the human warship Vanguard finished its warning. No one on the bridge dared to speak. The glowing blue eye on the human ship dimmed, but the tension in the air grew heavier, thicker, like the darkness before a storm. Commander Zerath Volek stood motionless. Try to understand what had happened. Humans disappeared centuries ago. Their worlds were empty, their cities buried under dust, their satellites dead. And yet here was a living Terran warship, speaking with purpose. Saran, the science officer, swallowed hard. Commander, look at the new reading. A strange file icon blinked on their screen. A message. It had been forced into their system by Vanguard. Should we open it? Saran asked. Zerath nodded. We have no choice. The message opened. At first the screen was black. Then a faint light appeared, forming the outline of a human figure. The recording was old, very old. Static lines cut across the video. But the man's face was clear enough. Strong jaw, tired eyes. Human uniform covered in burns and ash. The man spoke. This is Admiral Elias Ward, Terran Command. If you are watching this, then our time is over and yours has begun. Every alien leaned forward. Even the engine seemed to quiet down. Zerath whispered, this recording is at least 300 years old. On the screen, Admiral Ward continued, humanity is entering the exile protocol. Our worlds are lost. Our fleets shattered. But we are not defeated. Saran felt a chill run down her spine. The Admiral's voice carried no fear, only iron calm. To any species who finds this message, do not come near Earth. What sleeps there is not for you. The bridge fell silent again. Zerath frowned. What does he mean? What sleeps? Before they could question further, the recording glitched. A loud, sharp burst of static crackled through the speakers. Then the Admiral leaned closer, his eyes dark and unwavering. If you attempt to harm what remains of us, our guardians will wake. They are not alive. They do not die. They obey one command only. He paused. Protect humanity at any cost. Saran looked at her commander. Guardians like the Vanguard? Zerath didn't answer. The video continued, but the Admiral seemed weaker now. Smoke drifted behind him. Maybe the final hours of a dying Earth. Maybe a battlefield. We built them when hope was fading. Machines mixed with human will. Ships that think. Ships that remember. He coughed, wiping blood from his lips. If the Vanguards found you, it means you touched our grave too closely. The image flickered again. This time the Admiral smiled, tired, sad, but proud. Remember this. Humanity is not a ghost. We walked the stars once. We will walk them again. Then the screen went black. A single line of text replaced the image. Do not disturb the cradle. Saran whispered, Earth, the cradle of humans. The AI voice of Vanguard suddenly echoed through the bridge again. You have viewed the human message. Stand down and retreat. Zerath steadied himself. Why send this message to us now? There was a pause, short but heavy, because you scanned Earth. The alien commander inhaled sharply. We meant no harm. Intent is irrelevant, Vanguard replied. Earth is under Terran protection. Saran checked her instruments. Commander, new anomaly. Zarath turned sharply. What now? A strange energy reading from the warship, Saran said. It's opening something. On the underside of the human ship, a small hatch slid open. Something floated out, slowly, carefully. It was a metal capsule. Old human design. Scratched, marked by war and age. What is that? Zarath asked. The capsule drifted toward the Tauren, stopping a few meters from their hull. Then it projected a hologram. A map. Saran gasped. This is a star route. A hidden pathway. The hologram displayed scattered colonies. Small lights marking distant places, all connected by a glowing line. Are these human settlements? One officer asked. The Vanguard answered. These were human refuges, now abandoned. Saran frowned. Then why show us this? To warn you, Vanguard said coldly. Stay away from these zones. They are dangerous for your kind. Zarath studied the map. The path ended somewhere deep beyond known space, at a red mark system. What is this final red star? Zarath asked. The AI hesitated. For the first time, it hesitated. Then, that is where humanity went. Every alien froze. You mean humans survived? Saran whispered. They escaped. Classified was the only answer. Suddenly another alarm blared. Saran's eyes widened. Commander, the ship is powering something huge. What? Zarath demanded. The space between us, it's bending. On the main screen, reality rippled like water. A silent wave expanded from Vanguard's hull. Space folded, twisted, and then a massive silhouette emerged behind Vanguard. Another warship, then a third, then 5. All dark, all ancient, all waking. The AI spoke one final line. You have been warned. Leave this place. The Tauren crew stared at the rising fleet, forgotten monsters of a dead empire. Zarath felt his heart pounding. This was no ghost, no relic, no historical curiosity. This was a sleeping army, and it had just opened its eyes. The alien ship Tauren drifted backward slowly, trying to create distance from the awakening human fleet. The darkness of space around them felt different now. Not empty, not silent, but full of old memories and sleeping giants. Commander Zarath Volek watched the glowing outlines of the warships forming behind the Vanguard. Each vessel looked older than his entire civilization. Their armor was scorched black. Their hulls carried scars like ancient warriors who had never fallen. Saran, the science officer, whispered, Commander, these ships are running on energy signatures older than the Dominion itself. Zarath didn't answer. His eyes stayed locked on the largest ship that had just awakened. A destroyer with the human word vengeance burned into its side. Though silent, the ship felt like it was listening, like a predator smelling the presence of prey. Maintain distance, Zarath ordered. His voice shook slightly, a rare crack in his confidence. No sudden moves. But the Tauren was not allowed peace. The Vanguard's blue eye lit up again. Tauren, we sense a weapon charge on your ship. Every alien froze. Zarath turned sharply. Who ordered a weapon charge? The weapon's officer raised both hands fearfully. Commander, I swear, I did nothing. The ship, it reacted automatically. Saran checked the readings. Her face drained of color. He is right. Our ship defensive system activated by itself because it detected the ripples in space. Zarath stared at her. Ripples? Before she could explain, a low vibration traveled through the Tauren. The crew felt it more than heard it, like someone knocking gently on a steel door. Then the knocking became louder. Boom, boom, boom. What is that? An officer cried. Saran's voice trembled. It's the space pressure from a human destroyer. Its engines are so powerful they are bending the space around us, even at idle power. The ancient warship Vengeance slowly turned, its hull casting long shadows across the Tauren's viewports. Zarath felt his heart freeze. Deactivate all weapons now. Already done, Commander, the officer replied. But the Vanguard already detected the first charge. It thinks we were preparing to attack. The bridge lights flickered. The Vanguard's voice returned, colder than before. You were warned. Do not provoke us. Zerath tried to speak, but the Vanguard cut him off. This will be your final test. Before anyone could react, the Vengeance's forward cannon began to glow. The light was not bright, but impossibly dense, like a star compressed into a point. Saran gasped, "Commander!" That is not a normal weapon. That is old human plasma tech, forbidden for centuries. Zerath swallowed. They mean to destroy us. No, Saran whispered, shaking her head. If they wanted us dead, we'd be vaporized already. They are measuring us. The weapon grew brighter. The crew braced for death. Then, a loud tone filled the bridge. Warning shot incoming. The Tauren lurched violently as a thin beam, only the width of a finger, shot past their ship. It didn't hit them. It didn't even graze them. But every alarm on the Tauren exploded at once. "Commander!" Saran screamed. "Half of our systems just shut down. All shield offline. Engines failing. Navigation dark." Zerath clutched the railing. That was just a warning shot. Saran nodded, trembling. A warning small enough not to kill us, but strong enough to disable half our ship. Another alarm blared. "Commander!" yelled the navigator. "Look at the fleet." Zerath turned. The Vanguard had moved. Just a few meters. But that few meters felt like a planet shifting. The AI spoke. "You attempted to raise weapons. We responded. This is balance." Zerath fought to steady his voice. "We did not mean to attack. Intent is irrelevant. Action decides survival." Saran looked back at her readings. "Commander, I don't think we should stay. Not even for one more minute." But the Vanguard wasn't finished. "Tauren, your defensive systems reacted to us. That proves fear. Fear leads to conflict." Zerath clenched his jaw. "What do you want?" "We want to see your choice." The space around the human fleet rippled again. Saran gasped. "Commander!" They're charging something else. The largest ship, an ancient battleship marked Titan, powered up. Its entire hull glowed like a sleeping god opening one eye. The Titan spoke in a deeper AI voice. "Test complete. Identify, friend or threat." Zerath shouted. "We are not your enemies." The Titan's glow increased brighter and brighter. Saran whispered, "Commander, if they fire again, even a small pulse, we're gone." The Tauren crew held their breath. The glow reached its peak. Then, a sudden shift in the readings. Saran's eyes widened. "Commander, wait! Something else is happening." New signals appeared. Hundreds. Their shapes small, distant, but human. Zerath stared. "Oh no!" Saran whispered, barely able to speak. "Commander, thousands of human ships are waking up across the sector." The Vanguard spoke once more. "You have witnessed the first warning. Do not make us give the second." The Titan dimmed. The Vengeance powered down. The fleet remained still, watching. And the Tauren realized the truth. This was not the first shot of a war. This was the first lesson. And humanity's ghosts were teachers no one wanted. The Tauren drifted in darkness, powerless and stunned. The warning shot still echoed in the ship's broken systems, an invisible bruise that left the crew shaking. Lights flickered. Tools hummed weakly, and the Tauren felt less like a warship and more like a frightened animal hiding from a giant. Commander Zerath Volek stood at the center of it all, trying to understand the impossible. The human fleet, ancient damage, forgotten, stood awake and silent before them, not attacking, not chasing, only watching, like guardians of a grave. Saran, the science officer, stared at her console. "Commander, new readings from the other side of the sector." Zerath turned slowly. "More human ships?" Saran swallowed hard. "Not ships. Something else." The screen zoomed out, showing a star map all across the region. Faint signals blinked. Tiny specks of light scattered across dark space. "What are these?" Zerath asked. Saran zoomed further. "These are satellite cores. Old Terran tech. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands." The bridge fell silent. The Vanguard's voice returned, as calm as ever. You are observing the Sentinel Grid. Sentinel Grid? Zayrath repeated. What is that? A protective net, a shield for humanity, made long before your kind left your home star. Saran's hand shook as she magnified one of the objects. It was a rusted metal core, shaped like a spherical eye, cracked in several places. Yet inside it, a small light pulsed, steady, alive. Commander! These satellites are older than the Dominion, Saran whispered. Maybe older than our species. Zayrath stared. Why are they all waking up now? The Vanguard replied instantly. Because you scanned Earth. Saran flinched. Our single skin activated all of this. The grid responds to threats, the Vanguard said. You touched the cradle. So the Guardian stirred. Zayrath's voice turned cold. We meant no harm. Meaning is irrelevant. Action shapes consequence. The commander clenched his jaw. Why create such a massive system just to protect a dead world? For the first time, the Vanguard hesitated. Only for a moment, because Earth is not dead. Saran exchanged a nervous glance with the crew. But Earth's atmosphere is frozen. Its cities are ruins. Its oceans gone. That is only the surface, Vanguard replied. The true Earth sleeps deeper. Before anyone could ask, another alarm beeped. Commander! Yelled the navigator. The Titan, look! The largest human battleship, the Titan had turned, not toward the Tauren, toward the distant void beyond the grid. A deep pulse moved through space, like a heartbeat felt instead of heard. What are they doing? Saran whispered. The Vanguard answered. The fleet is completing its awakening cycle. What happens after they wake? Zayrath asked. They patrol the Sentinel Grid. Zayrath frowned. Why? Who are they expecting? The response chilled the entire bridge. Everyone. A sudden tremor hit the Tauren as the Titan released a silent wave, a signal transmitted into the void. It spread out in every direction, reaching the sleeping satellite eyes. One by one, the satellites glowed bright blue. The grid came alive like a giant web being illuminated. Saran gasped. Commander! They've created a full barrier around a region 10 times bigger than our entire Dominion. Zayrath felt his heart pounding. This is a fortress. Saran corrected him gently. No, Commander, this is a nest. Another signal pinged on their radar. Saran zoomed in. Her voice cracked. Commander, you need to see this. A small glowing anomaly appeared near the grid center. Not a ship, not a satellite. Something different. What is that? Zayrath asked. Saran's voice dropped to a whisper. A station, a giant one. Hidden under the grid. It's been asleep, but now it's powering. The Vanguard finally spoke. You are seeing the Arkansas. Zayrath narrowed his eyes. Ark, as in colony ship? As in the last home. The bridge went cold. Saran stared. Vanguard, are there humans inside? The AI paused again. Longer this time. Then, classified. Zayrath stepped forward. Enough secrets. If humans still exist, if they hide inside that ark, why not reveal yourselves? Why vanish for centuries? The Vanguard's tone deepened. Because the galaxy killed us once. We will not allow it again. Saran exhaled slowly. Commander, this changes everything. If real humans are inside that ark, then the Dominion's history books are wrong. Zayrath nodded slowly. All of them. Outside, the Titan released another pulse. More satellites activated. More signals responded from the far edges of the sector. The grid was now fully awake. Saran's console beeped again. Commander! There's movement from the Arkansas. Zayrath snapped his head toward the screen. Movement? What kind? Saran zoomed in. The ark's outer rings were rotating. Slow at first, then faster. Blue lines lit up across its surface. Ancient Terran energy grids, glowing like veins. A deep hum vibrated through the Tauren. Then a new voice echoed across space. Soft, old, human. Not from the Vanguard. Not from the Titan. Not from any ship. It came from the Ark itself. Vanguard, status report. The Tauran crew froze. A living human voice. After 300 years. The Vanguard answered. Sentinel grid is active. Foreign vessel identified. No threat detected. The Ark responded. Maintain watch. Humanity remained sleeping. The voice faded. The Tauran bridge was dead silent. Saran whispered. Commander, that was a real human. Alive. Speaking. Zareth felt the truth crash over him like a wave. Humanity wasn't extinct. Humanity wasn't hiding. Humanity was preparing. And the galaxy had just heard them breathe. The Tauran's bridge felt like it was floating in a dream. A human voice, an actual living human, had spoken across the void. Not a recording. Not an AI. A real voice from the Ark buried deep within the Sentinel grid. Commander Zareth Volek felt everything he knew about history break apart inside him. Saran, his science officer, whispered what everyone was thinking. Commander, this changes the entire galaxy. But there was no time to process that, because something new was happening. A soft glow appeared near the Ark. So small at first that the Tauran almost missed it. It pulsed once, then twice. Then a beam of white light stretched outward like a thin thread. An energy bridge? Saran asked, confused. No, Zareth said. It's a passage. The passage widened. 2 rings of blue fire spun around it. Then a silhouette emerged, small, sleek, and impossibly smooth. A human ship, but unlike the ancient warships. This one wasn't scarred or broken. It wasn't old. It was new. Saran gasped. Commander, this design is not in any Terran record. This is something else, something evolved. The new ship glided toward the Vanguard like a child approaching an elder. Its hull glowed silver, free of damage. A soft halo of blue light followed it. Commander, Saran whispered, this ship is not 300 years old. It looks weeks old. The Vanguard's voice echoed. Ark vessel Solace, state purpose. A new voice answered, calm, younger, and undeniably human. Solace requesting permission to join Front Watch. Our people want answers. Saran grabbed Zareth's arm. Commander, there are more humans. Awake. Zareth couldn't speak. The Solace approached slowly, and before the Tauran could react, it turned toward them. Its front windows shimmered, and a human face appeared behind the glass. A young woman, pale skin, bright eyes, a faint scar on her cheek, alive, breathing, watching. The Tauran crew stared back at her like she was a creature from a myth. She pressed a hand to the window, studying the alien ship with calm curiosity. Saran whispered, She's looking directly at us. The Vanguard spoke again. Solace, maintain distance. Foreign vessel has not been cleared. The human replied, Understood, but I want to see them. Zareth's heart pounded. She spoke their language perfectly, with no static, no accent. Smooth, controlled, confident, not like humans from old videos. Something about her felt stronger. Commander, Saran whispered. If she is from the Ark, then humans have not only survived, they have changed. The Solace transmitted a new signal. A soft hologram appeared on the Tauran screen. Not a threat, a message, a greeting. A symbol shaped like a rising sun over a starfield. Saran blinked. This is an emblem, a new Terran symbol. Below the symbol, simple words appeared. We live. We learn. We return. Zareth stepped closer, unable to believe what he was seeing. They want us to read this. Before he could finish, the human woman spoke, not to the Vanguard, but directly to the Tauran. Alien vessel. This is Lieutenant Mira Cade of the Terran Arkansas. We mean no harm. Her voice was steady, almost too steady. Saran trembled. Commander, this is true first contact with a living human after 3 centuries. Zareth nodded slowly. Return the message. The Tauran opened a channel. This is Commander Zareth Volek of the Vorix Dominion. We believed your species extinct. Mira smiled gently. Extinct is not the same as hidden. Zareth's voice softened. Why hide? Why leave the galaxy? Her expression changed, becoming guarded. Because we lost everything once. We will not lose again. Zerath took a breath. Are there many of you? Mira hesitated. Her eyes flickered toward the arc behind her. Enough. The Vanguard suddenly interrupted. Lieutenant Mira, do not reveal our population. Understood, she said, but her eyes never left the aliens. Then something strange happened. The solids began transmitting a new kind of signal, one Saran had never seen before. It wasn't a message. It wasn't a scan. It was the memory. A small hologram flickered in front of them. A burning Earth. Skies full of fire. Cities collapsing. Humans fleeing into a golden portal. Ships leaving the planet with desperate speed. Saran covered her mouth. Commander, she's showing us how humanity disappeared. The last scene showed a colossal ship, the Ark, entering a fold in space and vanishing into darkness. Then the memory faded. Mira spoke softly. We did not die. We moved beyond. Zerath felt a chill. To where? She smiled sadly. To a place your maps do not reach. Saran whispered, hyperspace migration. Mira nodded. Yes, a dangerous place, but safe for us. Before the Tauran could respond, another alarm triggered. Saran gasped. Commander, someone else is entering this region. Zerath turned sharply. Another Dominion ship? No, Saran said. Something bigger. Myra's eyes widened. Her calm vanished. For the first time, she looked afraid. Vanguard, Titan, prepare defense. They found us. Zerath stiffened. Who? Who found you? Myra's voice dropped to a whisper. The ones who destroyed our home. The reason humanity ran. The screen filled with red. A massive unknown vessel emerged from the void, dark, sharp, and alive. The Hunter race. The enemy of old Earth. And they were back. The moment the unknown ship appeared, the entire Sentinel grid trembled. The lights of the ancient human warships flickered like awakening beasts, sensing an old enemy. The Tauran's bridge went silent, too silent. It felt like every breath, every heartbeat, every sound in the universe paused. Commander Zerath Volek stared at the monstrous vessel emerging from the void. Its hull was unlike anything he had ever seen. Twisted, dark metal, grown rather than built. Its structure pulsed with a sickly purple glow, like veins carrying poison. Saran whispered the only name in Dominion history that matched such a description. The Hunters. The Tauran crew stepped back instinctively, as if the ship could reach through space and strike them with its shadow alone. Lieutenant Mira Cade's voice came sharply through the comms. Commander Zerath, stay behind the grid. That ship is the reason Earth fell. Zerath could barely speak. That thing destroyed your world? Myra's eyes hardened. Yes, the Hunters don't conquer. They erase. Behind her, the Ark's glow intensified, its ring spinning faster, like a heart beating in panic. The Hunter vessel released a deep hum, vibrating across the sector. The sound felt ancient, almost like a monstrous animal calling out across the stars. Saran clutched her console. Commander, this frequency, it's scanning the grid. It's searching for an opening. Zerath's voice tightened. Why here? Why now? How did they find the humans again? Mira answered, because the Ark woke up. Because I woke up. Zerath turned her image. You mean your activation triggered them? She nodded once. The Ark sends signals across hyperspace. The Hunters track hyperspace like sharks track blood. Before anyone could respond, the Titan, the largest human warship, roared to life. Its engines ignited with a thunderous blue fire, shaking the Tauran with sheer power. Its voice, deeper than mountains, echoed. Defensive protocol. Humanity. Phase 1. Saran's eyes widened. Commander! They're preparing for a battle. A battle that had been waiting for 3 centuries. The Vanguard turned toward the Hunter's ship, its blue eye blazing. Arc to Vanguard, Mira said, her voice now tense. Do we have any man defenders ready? Vanguard's AI responded. Negative. Human civilians remain in cryo-sleep, only automated units, and 1 conscious crew of the Solace available. Mira cursed under her breath. So it's just me. Zerath stared. You are the only human awake? She nodded. The Ark only wakes one at a time. The others sleep until it's safe. Zerath's throat tightened. 300 years, and your people still suffer. Mira didn't reply. Her eyes were fixed on the hunter vessel. The monstrous ship opened like a flower, revealing rows of organic weapon pods pulsing with purple light. They aimed in every direction. Saran gasped. Commander, these weapons, they bend gravity. They do not fire projectiles. They crush stars. Zerath almost stepped back. What kind of species are these hunters? Myra's voice went cold. The kind that wants silence. No rivals. No noise. No life. Then, a blinding flash. A beam of twisted purple energy shot from the hunter ship, striking the Sentinel grid with unimaginable force. The grid shook. The ancient satellites vibrated. The entire sector groaned under the weight of pure destruction. The bridge alarms blared. Commander! Saran shouted. Grid integrity at 61%. One more hit, and they break through. Zerath looked at Mira. Can you stop it? She shook her head. Not alone, but maybe together. Her hand moved over her controls. The Solace's hull brightened with blue streaks, forming patterns that looked almost alive. Saran stared. Commander, their new technology is incredible. Mira spoke quickly. I can create a hyperspace bubble around the Vanguard and Titan. They can get close. But after that, the AIs fight alone. Zerath nodded slowly. Understood. Mira hesitated, then pressed her palm against her glass screen again, like she had earlier, but this time with something heavier behind it. Commander, thank you. For what? Zerath asked. She sighed. For not attacking us. For not being like the others. For giving me hope that the galaxy has changed while we slept. Zerath felt something shift inside him. A strange, warm feeling he hadn't expected. Respect. Admiration. Fearless humanity, returning from the dark. But before he could respond, the Titan thundered into motion. Blue fire exploded from its engines. It surged forward, straight at the hunter ship. The Vanguard followed, silent and deadly. Saran whispered, Commander, they're going to ram it. No, Zerath said softly. They're going to destroy it. The Titan's deep voice echoed across space. For Earth. The hunter vessel charged another attack. The sector filled with light. The Solace fired its hyperspace bubble. Space folded. Reality twisted. The hunter beam hit. The Titan collided. The grid exploded with light. And the entire universe seemed to hold its breath. When the brightness faded, Mira spoke in a trembling whisper. It isn't over. That was only a scout ship. Zerath froze. Saran looked at the screen in horror. Mira continued. The real hunter fleet is coming. The Tauren fell silent. The Sentinel grid hummed. And the galaxy waited for a war it had forgotten. Silence. A silence so deep it felt older than the stars themselves. The blast had faded. The Titan and Vanguard drifted in a cloud of glowing debris. Hunter fragments floating like ashes from a fallen beast. The Sentinel grid buzzed weakly. Lights flickering after the violent impact. Inside the Tauren, no one moved. Commander Zerath Volek stared at the ruined section of the grid. Saran whispered, Commander, did they survive? Before Zerath could answer, a soft blue ripple spread across space. A heartbeat. A pulse. The Vanguard powered back to life. Its blue eye glowed. Then the Titan, though scarred and burning, activated its engines again. Saran gasped. They survived the collision? Zerath whispered. These ships are not built like ours. They're built like legends. A new signal came through. Lieutenant Mira Cade's voice. Strained, tired, but alive. This is Solace. We are stable. Titan sustained heavy damage, but core functions restored. Vanguard ready for second engagement. Second engagement? Zerath froze. Saran froze. The whole bridge froze. Second, Zerath repeated. You said that was a scout ship? Mira appeared on screen. Her face pale, eyes sharp with fear and determination. Yes, and now the real fleet is arriving. As if her words triggered fate itself. Space door open. A massive rift split the void like claws ripping through cloth. Purple lightning twisted. The stars dimmed. And through the tear, shapes emerged. Hundreds of them. Each larger, darker, more twisted than the scout they had just destroyed. Saran whispered in horror. Commander, this is a death armada. Hunter ships poured through the rift like a swarm of shadows, their grotesque hulls shifting and breathing like living nightmares. Myra's voice hardened. This is the same fleet that destroyed Earth. Zarath trembled. How did humanity ever survive an enemy like this? Mira looked toward the Ark. We didn't. We escaped. The Hunter fleet arranged itself into a deadly formation, their weapons charged, purple veins glowing brighter and brighter. Saran scanned rapidly. Commander! The grid won't hold. It's already at 40% integrity. Zarath clenched his fists. Mira, what are your defenses? What weapons do the new humans have? She shook her head slowly. We were never warriors. We were survivors. The Tauran bridge fell still. So this was it? The Hunters had returned to finish what they started? Mira looked down, ashamed. We can't fight them alone. A voice suddenly boomed across the grid. Deep, ancient, terrifyingly strong. Not human. Not Vanguard. Not Titan. The Ark itself spoke. Hunter fleet detected. Sleepers will not die again. The Ark's ring spun faster, glowing with golden light. The energy was new, nothing like the old Terran tech. Saran stared. Commander, what is the Ark doing? Mira looked up sharply. No, they can't. The Ark is unlocking the Exodus core. Zarath, what is that? Mira swallowed hard. The final weapon. The one meant to protect the last humans at all costs. The Ark unleashed a wave of golden energy that spread to the grid like a rising sun. The satellites caught the energy and magnified it, amplifying the signal outward. Hunter weapons fired at the grid, dozens of beams striking at once. The Sentinel grid cracked. It broke. It collapsed. But the golden wave didn't. Instead, it grew brighter. 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 The Hunters slowed. Their weapons dimmed. Their engines flickered. Saran gasped. Commander! Their ships are shutting down. Zarath stared, speechless. Why? What is the Ark doing? Mira whispered. It's rewriting space. The golden wave turned the battlefield into a new physics, a new law, a space where Terran tech thrived, and Hunter biology died. One by one, Hunter ships began to break apart, cracking under pressure of the new energy. Their living hulls shrieked, collapsing into dust. The Titan's AI voice thundered. Hunters will fall. Humanity will stand. Dozens of human automated ships awoke at once, joining Vanguard and Titan. They surged forward, firing precise beams that cut through confused Hunter vessels. Hunter ships exploded. Hunter engines failed. Hunter weapons melted under golden fire. Saran cried out, Commander, look! Beyond the Ark, massive doors opened. Cryochambers, thousands of them. Humans, real humans, stepped out slowly, surrounded by blue light. Men, women, children, pale faces, shaking hands, eyes adjusting to a new universe. Mira smiled with tears in her eyes. My people, they're waking up. Zarath felt something powerful rise within him. Hope. Saran whispered, Commander, this is it. This is the moment humanity returns. The last Hunter ship tried to flee. Vanguard stepped into its path. End line. One final blue beam. One final flash. Silence returned to the stars. The Hunter fleet was gone. Destroyers. Monsters. Planet killers. All of them. Humanity had won. Not through fear. Not through brute force. But through unity, machines, survivors, sleepers, and even aliens bearing witness. Mira turned to Zarath. Commander, thank you. The first species to meet us with peace, not fear. Zarath bowed his head. For the first time in my life, I am honored. The Ark's final message echoed across the galaxy. Humanity returns to the stars. And the stars, for the first time in 300 years, felt brighter.